Marcus Daly was a copper king in Butte. He built his family home here in the Hamilton area in the late 1800s. And around early 1900s, Marcus Daly passed away, but his family would summer here. And his wife, Margaret Daly, felt that there was a need to have a local hospital. So she donated the land and approximately $100,000 to build the first hospital, and it was completed in 1931. It remained at that location until the early 1970s, when the hospital was moved to its present location in 1975. It was approximately 50,000 square feet, and the original structure is still in place. And we've just been enlarging since then. The largest was the emergency department, which is approximately 20,000 square feet.
Plans were drawn up so that we could advance from our small, cramped, 6-bed emergency department to our current emergency department, which is 12 beds and approximately 20,000 feet. We see it in the emergency department as a very proactive, forward-thinking move on the part of the board and the administration to see a need, see where growth was going to occur, and then deliver to that need. And our visits have increased from around 8,000 a year prior to our new emergency department to about 12,000 a year with the new department. So we've seen some rather significant growth of about 30% in our ER volumes.
I wound up in the emergency room in the Marcus Daly Hospital, and they removed 8 2-liter bottles of fluid off of my heart and lungs. They took excellent care of me.
The spaces for the physicians and nurses are constructed in such a way that we can be efficient in our care process and at the same time keep all of the critical patient care areas under direct view and direct observation, which is very, very important.
So it cost a little over $6 million, and we completed that. The next phase was a rehabilitation facility. That was priority number 2. A little over $3 million was invested in that department. It's a fantastic facility, and it's heavily used.
In 2009, we built this 12,500 square foot facility, private treatment rooms with our treatment tables where we can do individual treatments with our clients. We also have the Hydroworks 2000 pool, which is a zero-entry pool, the only zero-entry pool in western Montana. Within the rehab gym, we have a 150-foot walking track, which we use with both pediatric and adult-based clients. The equipment that we have out there is versatile, state-of-the-art, and backed up by evidence as far as outcomes and best practice as far as what equipment helps with strengthening and balance and just basic therapeutic outcomes. We have a separate pediatric gym for treating pediatric clients of all ages.
The hospital is an extremely important part of this community. It's a key asset to the community, not just for healthcare. Healthcare is our number one objective, but the economic importance of the hospital to the community, just in payroll alone, is $1.5 million per month of a direct infusion to the economy of Ravalli County. When the hospital was completed in 1975, there was approximately 18,000 people in Ravalli County. We're now a little over 40,000. Much of the hospital has been enlarged, increased. Our technology has been brought up to state-of-the-art, but the ICU remains the same as in 1975. 3 beds, tight quarters, inadequate to serve the population that we have today.
As we have had increased volumes in the emergency department and more critical care patients to the emergency department, oftentimes our current small ICU is unable to handle the increased patient volume. And unfortunately, that means that patients will need to be transferred to another facility as far as 50 miles away. Typically, that is in Missoula. We would love to keep those patients here. We would love to provide them care in our facility and have their family enjoy the comfort of being able to have their loved one treated in an environment where all of their support systems are intact.
I would trust the Marcus Daly Hospital with any of my medical problems, period. We don't have to go to Missoula and places. We got it right here. In the ICU, them people were unbelievable. They really went out of their way, I think, to keep me alive. I don't know how the nurses do what they do in that place, as crowded as it is. And the beds are close together. The only thing that separates them is a screen, you know. And I don't believe that a person has to lay in the ICU and listen to other people's sickness. I believe that should be a no-no. And they just need a larger ICU, period.
Now when a patient is transferred from our current emergency department to our current ICU, some of the patients and families may feel that they're stepping back in time because we have a beautiful, private, spacious environment of care in the emergency department, and unfortunately that doesn't exist in our current ICU.
There's only a thin curtain separating each bed, and it can be very embarrassing for patients to use the commode in that setting. For example, you can imagine an elderly woman wanting to move her bowels and only a thin curtain separating her from her male ICU cohort. It would be quite difficult for her. Frankly, it's embarrassing for patients in that setting. Our current ICU only has one window, and so 2 out of the 3 patients are not next to that window. Having a window in every room does help to prevent the incidence of ICU delirium. It's very challenging as well to have more than one family member at a bedside while we're trying to take care of ill patients. And having every person have their own room would be very advantageous for that reason as well. We have seen the use of the ICU almost double in terms of the number of patients who are utilizing it. Those numbers are just continuing to rise, and especially if we are able to expand the number of ICU beds that we have.
All of our decisions regarding investments in the hospital are truly centered on patient care. We've designed a 3,200 square foot unit that has 5 rooms that are totally separated from each other by solid walls. The rooms are large enough to allow for state-of-the-art equipment, for doctors and nurses to work around patients, and also for family members to be present when possible.
The new ICU will be very nice. It has 3,200 square feet, so significantly increasing the total space. There will be 5 private patient rooms, all of them with a glass window, reducing the incidence of ICU delirium. Everyone will have their own bathroom, their own television. They will be very nice, clean, private spaces for patients to be treated and to visit with family members. There is also an isolation room, which we can use specifically for patients with certain infections we are trying to either treat or rule out. Also, there will be a quiet room where families can visit with each other and wait in a quieter environment, as well as a consultation room where physicians, social workers, nurses can meet with families to discuss in a private, quiet setting the current clinical situation going on with their family member. The rooms are glass on the wall where the nurses are looking through so that they can monitor the patient at all time, but we will be able to pull a curtain as well to preserve the patient's privacy.
The total cost of the 3,200 square feet and the necessary equipment is approximately $3.2 million. We have exhausted our available resources within the hospital's financial capability. So we are starting a Power of Health initiative in our community to give all the members of the community the opportunity to participate in the next phase of development, which is the intensive care unit. We have kicked this off internally with our employees with a goal of approximately $300,000, and we're well over 50%.
Having a larger ICU is a plus to the Marcus Daly Hospital. And I have give a gift. Me and my wife have give a gift to the ICU so that we can get this thing going.
The intent is to have the $3.2 million in place by next fall, 2013, and to have the facility completed by the fall of 2014. I feel like it's extremely important for people that live in communities to give back. It not only makes you feel good, but it also supports the community that is actually supporting you. A hospital is an integral part of any community. In many cases, it's a basis for people to move here, to retire here, is the quality of this hospital. We have an honor wall located in a prominent location as you come in the front door to the hospital. There will be naming opportunities for a variety of parts of this, whether it's equipment or a room, beds in a room, as well as the entire facility, depending on the amount that a donor might give. To improve the quality of health care in the hospital is a great opportunity for members of this community. The Board of Directors would like to invite you to participate in this worthwhile project. Whatever amount you feel is comfortable and meaningful for you is greatly appreciated. Every donation will be meaningful. You'll be able to see the result in a relatively short period of time. The intensive care unit is being done for the quality of health care to our community. You can be a part of that simply by donating.